Well, looks like Paul Gerber's corn is ready to harvest. I wonder if he needs someone to do it. Oh yeah, there we go. Let's do that for him. Hello and welcome along, and today we are back on Felsbrunn. We're heading down to the shop at the moment in our stire because, as you can see, we have our seeder on the back, and the reason for this is because we need to get our fields sown. As you also saw in the introduction, and as you can see from what we have here at the shop, we are taking on a contract today to harvest some corn, some maize. So we've got a fairly non-European lorry here, non-European truck, together with this case 924 that we're going to be using. But the first thing we need to do today is we need to fill up our seeder with some more seeds. So we'll head over here and do this. And we're going to buy a couple of bags of big bags, a couple of seed big bags, sorry. So buy that. And we'll buy a couple of those. That should do us. Now, what we're going to be seeding is, while we seeded wheat by mistake last time, we're actually going to seed it on purpose this time. Because the long-term plan for the farm is that we're going to be getting ourselves some chickens. And in order to do chickens, we need either wheat or barley. We'll refill this, and while we're here, actually, we will also purchase a couple of big bags of fertilizer. There we go. So we're down to 2,122. Why we can't refill that, I don't know. There we go. So refilling that one as well. And while these are refilling, so reverse out there. There we go. While those are refilling, let's get our combine set up and get that ready to head out to the field. We're actually going to leave the header trailer here. We have no need for that header trailer. The folded up one here will be fine. There we go. Right, and back again. Fill up the other one. Right, and I'm going to get this down to the field. Okay, so here is the combine. The entrance to the field is just here. So we'll get this set up in this position. Pop back to the shop. In fact, what I'm going to do is I'm going to unfold this, get our combine started, because there's quite a bit for it to do. There we go. Off with that and hire a worker. There we go. So we'll leave that going. Head back to our tractor here, start the engine on this up and get this back to the field. So we're going to do field 9 with this because we did wheat in field, what's our other field, 17, because we did wheat in field 17 last time. We're going to do wheat in field 9 this time, and then we will do soybeans in field 9 this time. Sorry, in field 17 this time, which was what our plan for field 17 was previously. And I'm just hoping that we may remember to switch it over. We should have enough seeds in here. I'm hoping we have enough seeds to do both fields. I can't remember how many seed bags we used last time. But, yeah, this should work to our advantage. I don't want to leave the hired worker going too long on that field, because obviously we lose money every moment that the hired worker is working. But it should be just long enough for us to, well, maybe get the lorry back. I want to get the lorry back to the field as well. Get that sorted and get us moving there. If we can, it's a case of getting everything moving smoothly and moving together and all that good stuff. Right, so we are going to set our own little worker, or our own worker going on here. There we are. This unfolds. No, it doesn't unfold like the other one. The beauty of this one is this fertilizes at the same time as it does the planting. So that is off and on its way. So she's off and going. Right, so our other thing to do then is to grab this lorry and get this down to the field. As I said, this is a very American lorry for such a European map. There we go. But at least this should hold all of the grain, all of the maize that we'll be doing. There we go. Does need quite a wide turn, this. So we'll get this lorry up to the field and take over from our combine. So we're almost at the field in the truck now. One thing I have learned is, yes, this truck is a little bit big for these roads. Not happy at all with what it's had to do. What we'll do is the combine is almost here, so we're going to get it to turn around. I don't know how full it is, but once it's done that, we will get to take over from it. Alright, now I don't think... we do still have the cover on this, so we'll take the cover off. We'll put this into the front one. Oh, it's going to go into the back. Okay. That's what we decided on. And we've taken over from the hired worker now. We're going to take the headlands out because that's the way I prefer to work. Just get my HUD back up. And away we go. So yeah, this is looking great. We want to make sure that we're properly lined up, and it's properly lining up appears to actually put me slightly at odds with where I want to be. But I want to get that end one. I want to make sure that I'm lined up like that. There we go. Perfect. So we're going to get this field knocked out. We're pretty well. We're in a good position with it already. It's already taken 3 lines out. We are nicely lined up for this. And yeah, there's a good space around the field as well, so I don't have to worry about taking the headlands out. We should get through this pretty quickly, I think. It's not going to be an overly long mission, or overly long contract, sorry, and should work out well. So, let's see how we do. Let's see what the yield is, and we will come back when we have a fuller grain tank. So we're on about our 5th row. We are we're coming up to about 85 to 90% full. So I'm going to put a hired worker going on here. Jump into our lorry and try and head up the top end, preferably before the combine turns. Yeah, it is at 80%. This is not the fastest thing though when it comes to that, and that is going to make the end before we get there. Oh no, not quite. No, that's good. It's not quite going to make it to the end. So we will pop out here, and hopefully now we are filling the rear one at the moment. Now what would be really good And this map doesn't really require this, but for a job like this, an overloader would be absolutely brilliant. I'd be really happy with that. Turn the hired worker off. Lift this. Oh, turn it on. Lift that up. Empty this out. So emptying this out is pretty good. We're doing. There's a nice yield off this field actually. It's coming along nicely. The trailer is going to take a little while to fill. It'll take a few of these grain tanks to fill. We're trying not to go to a full grain tank when we empty. It just makes it easier. Seeing as we're not cutting in, seeing as we're just working our way across the field, it makes more sense for us to try and empty on that return trip. So on the trip where we know we have the auger out, emptying before the end of that, keeping the combine going as much as we can, and it means that we'll have a little bit of time with the hired worker working, but hopefully not so much that it breaks the bank and makes the contract useless. We do need to fund our wheat and our soybean planting, and hopefully we're going to end up with enough grain and everything to get some chickens started. So as I said earlier, I think I said earlier, that is our ultimate aim at the moment. We want to add chickens to the farm. We want to get doing some eggs. We can only do that though if we have some wheat in storage. I know we can buy chicken feed, but it's an expensive way to do the chickens. So the plan very much is to have that wheat field, to harvest that wheat field, sell the wheat, and sell the soybeans that we're going to plant as well, and get the chickens and everything with that. So hopefully that will not be too long. In the meantime, we're going to keep plugging away at these contracts, plugging away at this stuff to earn us some extra cash. There was a sugar beet contract that was available, which of course they're always worth a lot of money, but I'm very wary of doing them because they can be fairly long-winded contracts, those. Right, so we're back up to about a quarter full off one row, so that is promising. We will continue on, and we'll probably end up emptying again into our truck momentarily. Right, we're in the truck again. We've got the combine back on a hired worker. We've got ourselves set up with the truck here because I wanted to pick it up on the return. The combine is nearly full. It must be about 90% full at this point. And I wanted to make sure that we could empty and keep the combine going. So that's what we're doing at the moment. Our front tank, so you can see our rear tank is actually pretty full at this point. We should be able to get maybe one more tank out the combine. Well, we'll get one more in the front here. We might get one more across both tanks, and before we have to go and tip. I'm not sure exactly. I think we're looking at this. I think the port is our destination for this, which is good. And I'm emptying the whole way up the side here, even though the combine, as you can see, is empty. It keeps trying to get its auger in. But if we can empty the whole way up here, this actually will top off. We'll top off the back with this. But I've found that if we get it all the way to the top here, what we have is this really good turnaround with the combine, where the combine then is ready to unload at the far end. So what I'm going to do actually is just drive forward so that we're in a good position for the combine to empty at the end, but not worrying about it before then. There we go. So it should empty out, and we will switch over, take our hired worker off, make sure this is empty. Fantastic. And then on our next turn we're good. So we are about halfway through the field at this point. So plenty more to go. Let's get working on this, and hopefully soon we can head down to the sell point and offload the first load of corn. Okay, so we're about 80% full again. We're on the return trip, so this is absolutely perfect for our hired worker to get started. If I can get it right, there we go. And yeah, so we're going to go and get our lorry. We'll get the hired worker going like that. We'll jump into our lorry. Helper B has a nearly full grain tank, which is kind of to be expected, seeing as we just turned around. So we'll get this down there. We're going to fill into our front tank here, and hopefully this will take everything that remains in the combine. And we may end up then going and tipping. Certainly if we tip this time, then everything will fit in for a second time after that. We'll get that in the right place. There we go. So of course there's a slight bit of realism, as I was alluding to earlier. This is slightly less realistic to be doing this with a lorry on the field. The probably I think the more realistic way to do this, but I want to keep the combine moving and the lorry moving as well. Right, that front section is full. Let's get it into the back as well. Would be that the combine would go to the edge of the field. That, of course, doesn't keep the combine moving. There we go. So that's full. That doesn't keep the combine moving, and as a result means that we lose time doing the job. This way we do at least keep our time up. Now I want to try and make it up to this road here. This is quite a steep incline now. There we go. Let's find a space between the bushes. Here should do us. As long as we don't have out here. There's a barrier there, but not a barrier here because of this shack. And we can get out here before we have to cross the railway line. Check there's nothing coming. All good. Hopefully the train doesn't come anytime soon. So yeah, we're heading down to the port where we've got to tip this. And so we'll be tipping both things. And one of the nice things actually about this trailer, first time I've used one of these Wilson grain trailers, coming up at this quite fast, is that it has two compartments. So you can actually, while we've got corn in both at the moment, what you can actually do is have two different loads in this. It treats it as two separate trailers basically. Which is it's absolutely fantastic. There we go. There we go. And you can see under here, so it's underneath that it empties, which is really quite cool. And then the second one. Now that's interesting. I don't know how you select the second grain area to empty. Maybe there's something in the help menu. That's a good point. Let's have a look in there. So tip side front. Oh wow. So tip side back. So it handles it as different tip sides, which is really interesting. So there's the rear one empty now. In fact, let's jump out the cab and have a look at this. So that is now. So we emptied the front one first. It's now emptying the rear one. That is really cool. We're 74% transported. which is great news. So I'm going to come back in where I went out. And you see, actually, it's less steep at the top of this hill. Combine is on the return trip. So what we'll do is we'll come up here. We'll empty from the combine now. And then we will get cracking with the last few rows. And get this field finished off. So we're now running the, we're now cutting the final length. It's only 2 rows of corn, and it's going to fit in the tank, which is good. It's also going to fit in the trailer, so my prediction of it being 2 and a bit trailers is good. And we could tell that from when we tipped 75% or 76% originally for our first drop-off at the port. Which means it's actually also not coming a moment too soon. As you can see, $512 left. We really need this mission. I think there's a little bit of corn in the middle of the field there. There's sort of a darker patch. I'm just going to run the combine over that. Because that may produce just a few more litres. Just those extra few litres. And we can do that on the trip back to the trailer. It's worth checking out those dark patches sometimes. Sometimes those yield a little bit more because there's stalks there you can't see because of the way Farm Sim works. Let's have a look. Yeah, there is. You can see there's just this little bit left here, and it's not a huge number of litres, but it's enough to make a little bit of a difference. Get us maybe a couple of extra dollars on top of what we have. I think what we're going to do is we're going to end up basically being in the same, finishing almost in the same place as we started today. But we have seeded a field for that cost. Now let's see, our auger is out. So let's get it into position. There we go. We'll fill up the back with this. But that's worked pretty well. I'm going to fold, so I'm going to turn off my machine, fold up our header like so while this empties. And then we'll turn this off and drop that header down. So just waiting for this to finish emptying. Almost there. There we go. So we'll take the auger in. And again, we'll then fold up the harvester. And that job is done. Right, so into our lorry and we'll head down to the port. And I can see actually there's an exit to the field over here. Should work quite well. Right, and up and out. So let's get this down to the port and see how much money we make, not only from what we earn from the contract, but also in our bonus as we've harvested everything on the field. Okay, so we're down at the docks now. We're just going to pull this round. As I said, this requires quite a wide turning circle, this trailer. But we should be able to pull it over here quite easily, as we did before. Right, so let's empty that. Now I'm wondering if I press U. No, it won't let me do that. So it won't let me change the tip side for this while it's emptying. So you can't empty both at the same time, which is unfortunate. But there we go. So our contract is finished. So we will turn off the lorry. Contract is finished. We earned an extra 7,591. That is fantastic. On top of the 7,002. So we made 14,000 out of that. So let's collect that. And that's brilliant. So there we go. We are up to 15,000. So we're not only better than where we started, we are significantly better than when we started. Which makes me very, very happy. So I'm just sort of looking for something nice to finish on. But that's where we're going to finish today. I'm going to go and check on my seeder in a moment. I think he's making good progress. We are... Yeah, it's about, looking at that, he's about 4/5 of the way through field 9. So I'm going to go and check on him in a moment. But all that remains for now is for me to say thank you for watching. I hope you have enjoyed this video. Please give it a like, drop us a comment, and give it a share. And for all the latest videos and live streams from FendtFarmer, please subscribe to the channel, and I will see you next time. Goodbye.